I'm Arjun, an engineer on Glean's search team. Today, I'm joined by Sneha and Eddie to discuss how Glean's Enterprise Context allows us to deliver agents that actually work. We've found that to get an agent to complete a real-world task end-to-end in a company, you need to start with a great enterprise search engine, but you also need more than that. You need a comprehensive set of tools, you need a way to let the agent search over those tools, and you need memory of how the tools have been used in the past to get stuff done.
Yeah, when we started with search 6 years ago, users were asking things like, find the design doc for auto mode. Now, not only do they want to help write the document, they want to create it, they want to kick off the project, track code commits against it. All of that requires a lot more context.
To add to that, there is this assumption that an API call equals context. But the reality is that the connection is just the starting point. Real context takes multiple technologies working together.
So to truly activate enterprise context, you need to build a great search engine. This involves connecting to all your workplace apps, ingesting and indexing all the data in them, and building a search model that actually understands all that data. So Glean connects to hundreds of different data sources, from G Drive to email to now calendars and code. We get not just the raw content, but also interactions. So every view or edit or comment that every user has made to every document. We get links between documents and the context around those links. And we put all this together into powerful search signals that are only possible to build with native indexing. So for example, we take the sequence of all visits on a document and use that to understand its importance to every user, team, and department in the org chart. Subtle things like how users talk about a document on chat apps like Teams tell you which subjects it's authoritative about. We also do things like train a custom language model on each customer's entire corpus to understand the company's unique dialect, which is the basis of our semantic search system. And we do all of this stuff while exactly preserving the permissions and the underlying data sources in real time. We've also put a lot of effort into optimizing our index to handle agentic workloads, which actually require way more queries per second. So we can now search over billions of documents in hundreds of milliseconds and at minimal cost. This is what it takes to build a good enough search engine for agents to actually work. But that's not all you need. You need a comprehensive set of additional tools. You need a way to search over those tools, and you need memory of how those tools have been used in the past.
My team has been working on enterprise memory and tool search, and we're excited to introduce them today at Glean Live. Together, they help Glean orchestrate the right tools in concert so agents can automate more and more of your work. Without enterprise memory, an agent approaches any new task like it's the first time, figuring out which actions to take, how to ground them in context, and in what order. That constant relearning leads to avoidable mistakes, the same way any novice stumbles upon a new skill. But the moment we give an agent enterprise memory, so it can learn from past interactions, remember what worked, what didn't, and carry those lessons into next execution, we unlock a different kind of system. An agent that grows sharper with every interaction and delivers faster, more accurate, and consistent results. So now, I'm going to demo a release notes agent, an agent that can write my release notes for me. You will see that I can give it short, simple instructions and just let the agent figure out how to get the job done. What you will see is that the agent has learned over time that the most efficient and accurate way to draft release notes at Glean is to first locate the relevant Jira ticket. The agent then follows all of the ticket links to obtain documents like design docs, product requirements, beta guides, and so on. Enterprise memory has essentially learned how Glean's R&D team likes to organize authoritative information for each release and gives the agent a playbook on how to take advantage of this. By learning these working patterns, the agent improves both the efficiency of finding the right sources and the quality of the release notes in a way that's very specific to how your enterprise gets things done. So now, if you see, I've just given the agent the go-ahead to update the Jira issue with what it wrote.
While we're waiting for the agent to finish, just wanted to add a bit about tool search. We now support hundreds of different tools, but you can't just list all those tools and their descriptions inside your agent's prompt. That'll slow it down and confuse it. What you have to do is give the agent access to tool search, which finds the right tool at the right moment in time based on our understanding of the semantics of the tool and how it's been used in the past.
Exactly. And going back into Jira, we can see that the issue is updated with the release notes and access instructions. Now, this is just one of the ways enterprise memory is being used. It can also learn how to find company metrics, like a revenue trend, which are unique to every business. With enterprise memory, Glean learns the right data warehouse metric for ARR instead of trying to rebuild the calculations from scratch. Or even take open-ended research tasks. For account research, for example, it figures out the go-to format for the final report. And it helps to drive repeatable, scalable sales motions. Then it researches, gathers the intel, verifying facts along the way, and using memory of where your company keeps its most reliable data. Even scheduling a meeting takes memory. Choosing Zoom links, reserving physical spaces in different offices, structuring the agenda the way your company runs meetings, Glean learns how to do all of that.
It's cool to see a real agent actually learn from past runs, and it feels necessary given how complex and custom enterprise workflows can be.
It is pretty cool, and we have made memory safe by design. We restrict learnings to each enterprise, so the contents of memory are secure and specific to every company. Memory is also learned algorithmically, and it only uses tools, parameters, query templates, and sequences, not the content itself. So it eliminates the risk of data leakage in the enterprise.
Security is one of the biggest questions we get about memory, but as Sneha said, it's been part of our design since the beginning. Eddie, can you tell us about how all these different components of enterprise context translate to better agents?
Yeah. So we're now at a stage where agents can build their own execution. They figure out the right tools to use, how to invoke those tools, and when to stop or figure out that the job is done. So they're able to do this because they now have the context and the reasoning to meet the high quality bar of enterprises. In our evaluation, agents running in auto mode, on average, delivered 10% higher answer completeness and 12% more consistency between runs.
It's great to see agents that build themselves can actually perform more reliably than human-built agents. I feel like agents need to be both easy to build and reliable for people to actually adopt them.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just that they're helping with the quality of current work, they're enabling new types of work. So you can imagine open-ended things that couldn't be done in workflow mode are now possible. So an example might be debugging some escalation, some engineering issue where an agent in auto mode is going to read server logs or source code and discover that it needs to take a different strategy, right? And sort of modify what it's doing in the middle.
What excites me is that auto mode opens up a ton of knowledge work we can now finally hand off to agents. Work we could never automate with workflow mode. And it's much easier for everyone to create. So we're both expanding what agents can do and making them far more accessible.
To wrap up, we talked about how Glean makes a company's knowledge useful by indexing everything, extracting useful signals into an enterprise graph, and building a powerful search model that understands it all. We've also showed how Glean's enterprise context has expanded from knowledge to now tools and memory of how the tools have been used. This allows us to deliver agents that actually get work done. You can now describe a task in words, and a Glean agent will figure out how to pull the right context to do it. Huge thanks to Sneha and Eddie for joining me and talking through how it all works.